Hi guys, so today I have decided for my coastline that I chose is the California coastline. This is a very long coastline. It has so many beaches that are included with it. It might be my favorite, but that might be biased because I grew up here. But some of the beaches that are included down south of California are famous ones that you probably will know: Malibu, Santa Monica, San Diego, Long Beach, Newport Beach, those types. And then on our coast, we have like Monterey, Half Moon Bay, on the north coast, sorry, Monterey, Half Moon Bay, Santa Cruz. There is also places like San Francisco, Big Sur, Carlsbad, Fort Bragg, Oceanside. There are a lot of places that you could include in this list. There are four major coastline threats that I would like to talk about for the California coastline. And the first one, three of these are actually very closely knit together and kind of explain for each other. The first one is droughts. We have very dry weather here in California now. This has been caused over time because of climate change. We have been getting less rain during the winters and hotter summers, and the rates just seem to keep climbing in the opposite direction. We've fallen into a very bad drought where every year it gets worse. One year, people were having to watch how long their showers were. They were monitoring, cutting off water. Drinking water was very unstable on each coast. It seemed to affect the north coast more because we are the main water suppliers for California, but the south coast of California did see it as well. This leads to wildfires, which have been spreading through California. It seemed like California was a huge fire this year, and it has affected school systems and the coastal regions because it's burning up all of the land. We have a lot of farming land on the coast of California, and that's where our main forms of agriculture come, and also animals are raised there. So that's deteriorating their land and the economy that comes from the agriculture system. The wildfires lead to bad air days, and this is also another cause that led us to not go to school last year, or 2 years ago. Our air quality gets so bad here from the wildfires because they are coming from every direction, and the wind flow picks it up and brings it to a different area, so that causes the entire coast and the inner coast to be shut down and not be able to function, not be able to go outside because it is so unsafe. The air quality is just so bad. And in California, the strength of the currents and the waves for some areas have gotten so strong that there are more flood areas, and also the cliffs. The entire coast is covered by cliffs, whether they have been broken down to a point where the community can build on top of it, or if it's still on the cliff and the whole community's up at a different level. So these cliffs are eroding faster because of sea level rising. In California, the weather patterns have also changed, which is resulting in a longer fire season, which affects the beaches, the bluff erosion, and the flooding on the coastal areas. The weather changes have caused the waves to get higher and bigger, and this is taking away the public beach access. It has actually shrunk so much of 2/3 this year and could be gone by the end of this century. So that's a big issue that we are looking into. At the sea levels rising, increasing the wave actions, pushing the ocean water deeper into the coastal communities. And this is starting the beach flooding of private development and public infrastructure in the parks. And the actual numbers on this is that 42% of the shoreline is publicly owned and able to be accessed, while 58% of this coastline is private, that is held by the federal, state, or local government, and it isn't available for public access. The 42% is mainly owned by farmers and agriculture enthusiasts, but this is public as well. There are many public beaches along California that we are allowed to roam in and discover. Some history on California and why this coastline is so popular. So there is a big event at the end that drew everybody in, but I'm just going to start from the beginning. The first explorers and settlers of the California coastline were American Indians, and they when the first Europeans in 1769 came to visit California, they named it the Alta California. And there were Native Americans who had been settled here for hundreds of years, so they were not moving. The missions were also a very important part of the history of California, just because they are an important aspect of this Spanish colonization. At the missions, Native Americans practiced Christianity and taught a wide range of survival skills to the young. And the Spanish divided California up into 4 military districts. This is San Diego, Santa Barbara, which are both down south, and then Monterey and San Francisco, which are 2 up here in Northern California. In 1821, Mexico gained independence from Spain, and the Alta California became a Mexican province known as a Spanish colony. On September 9th of 1850, California became its own state, and this was due to the popularity from the gold rush. This was a big event that I was talking about that drew everybody here. The gold rush brought so many immigrants because they were searching for riches, and a lot of them came with nothing. They just came with their gold mining equipment, and they were hopes to win it big and be able to survive off of the big chunk of gold that they found, if they did, if anything. At the time, California was also developing its agriculture, fisheries, forests, mining, industries, aircraft plants and shipyards, tourism, recreation, the film industry, and this was all to keep people coming and to keep California interesting with developing things. And while searching on the web for organizations that support the California coastline and the actions towards keeping it clean and basically keeping it what it is today so that it doesn't erode into nothing, I found tons of websites. There's one, eco-usa.net, and that's like kind of the stockholder for all of the individual websites for the local coastal communities, and they all have their own individual efforts for what they need help with. They specifically target the restoration of California coastline and education towards the cause. And there are many different ones that you could join or research to help out, but they all are individually per the local community. So it's kind of nice to help out your local community and be able to specifically target that, but it is also, they should have a larger organization. The local government is the main source of decision making when it comes to this coastline. They are the coastal planning and they regulate everything. And they also hear out appeals for local decisions and give out the money and make sure that it is distributed correctly. There is one major act that helps this entire coastline, and is the Coastal Act and the Coastal Zone. So these were developed and protect the public access and coastal resources, and this was in Proposition 20 in 1972 when it was passed through the local Coastal Commissions program. 4 years later, in 1976, the state legislature enacted the California Coastal Act, which is the primary law that governs the coastal commissions, and it outlines basically the standard development zones within the coastal communities. This Coastal Act also leaves open the opportunity for there to be local coastal programs through the local governments to create a safe place for these zones, and this is all independent, but it is ran through the policies that are included in the Coastal Act. There have been many efforts towards helping this coastline, and there are lots of laws that are in place to keep this a beautiful community and keep the ecology of California alive. My discussion question to you guys is that, do you think that the erosion issue that is found so prominently in California is affecting other coastlines because of the rising sea levels found in the ocean? Or do you think that this is just happening in California and other places are structured differently, so it is having different effects on them?